Absolutely, one of the most frustrating aspects of the Kyle Rittenhouse saga is this whole notion somehow that Kyle is guilty because you can't defend private property by use of force. Have we all not heard that ad nauseum? Well, guess what? ADA Thomas Claire Binger is going to weigh in on this issue, and he's going to actually be a little helpful for a change. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so here is the argument. Kyle went there to protect private property, and later that night, he shot somebody. Because he went there to protect private property, and you cannot defend private property with lethal force, therefore he must be guilty of murder, even though the murder took place later with Kyle nowhere near the property he was protecting. Now that makes no sense at all, except there's a whole ton of people out there who keep voicing this idea somehow that because Kyle went there to protect private property earlier in the evening, therefore he must be guilty of any use of the gun thereafter. Well, guess what? Thomas Claire Binger seems to disagree. Even Binger thinks that that is a total nut job argument. Let's listen.
This would be akin to a police officer telling Mr. Rittenhouse at 1 p.m. that he stopped at a stop sign properly, and that's used as evidence to show that at 10 p.m. When he shoots and kills people, that somehow he's not reckless. They're remote in time, they're remote in behavior, they have no bearing on one another whatsoever. The evidence with regard to these statements by anonymous law enforcement officers occurred earlier in the evening at a separate location with regard to separate behavior. And no one is going to argue in this case that the defendant was reckless or unjustified in desiring to protect private property, remaining at a private business location, and trying to secure that location. That is
Even the prosecutor saying that Kyle was not reckless in protecting private property.
something that countless people in Kenosha did that night and many nights around that time period, whether it was their own home or their business or their neighborhood, and they are well within their rights to do so.
Well within their rights to do so. All you anti-Kyles out there, are you listening? This is the prosecutor.
The activities that we're talking about in this trial did not occur at that location. They did not occur on private property. They did not occur in the course of protecting that business.
You hear that? Thomas Claire Binger, the prosecutor, is saying that whether or not Kyle was protecting private property is irrelevant because he wasn't protecting private property. He had left the property.
They occurred blocks away, far away from the location that Mr. Rittenhouse took it upon himself to guard that night, when he's out wandering on his own without any members of his group nearby, and he is getting himself involved in things that are well beyond his purview.
Now, you may say that, well, Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have gotten involved in those things. That's not the point. The point is that the protecting of the private property is not relevant. Even the prosecutor is saying that it's not relevant. And believe me, if Binger could somehow make an argument that Kyle's protecting of the private property would somehow help him get convicted, he'd use it. But even he knows he wouldn't stand a chance with that argument. I've been saying it and saying it. I have a dumb argument series video put out where I talked about this dumb argument that somehow, because Kyle was there protecting private property, that makes him guilty of any crime that takes place thereafter, even after he leaves the property. It's stupid. Quit making this argument. It makes you look dumb. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. And by the way, you pro Kyles out there, damn it, if somebody's making this argument, point them to my video.